Welcome to the new video. In this video, I am going to talk about working base multiplication. I gave you some idea about working base multiplication in the previous video as well. It will be better if you watch that video before you watch this, because that will set the context right and you will be able to understand this better. So the problem I took in the last video, that I discussed how to multiply 48 and 42, and I explained it through two different processes, one by taking the working base as 40, another by taking the working base as 50, and in both the cases I took the actual base as 10. Now for the same problem, I'm taking the actual base as 100 and the working base as 50, right? So before I start the process, I think by now you are also clear about there is something called proportion. And how do you get the proportion? You take the working base and you divide it by the actual base. I am using the notation here. So working base is 50, the actual base is 100, so the proportion here is 1/2. Now the numbers are 48 and 42. So if I consider 50 as the working base, the difference here is -2 and the difference here is -8. So to calculate the left hand side, as you are already familiar that the answer should be written as left hand side and right hand side. So I need to multiply it by 1/2 into now this diagonal thing that you do, that either you subtract 8 from 48, or this could also have been written like 1/2 and into 42 minus 2. 42 minus 2. So in both the cases you are getting the same answer. It will become 40, and then if you divide it by 2, the left hand side will be 20. So what will be the left hand side in this case? The left hand side in this case will be 20. Now to get the right hand side, we are going to follow the same process, that we are going to multiply this number -2 and -8. So if I multiply this -2 and -8, I will get the product as 16. So what will be the answer? The left hand side 20 and the right hand side as 16. One thing which I reiterate, that the actual base here has two zeros. The actual base 100, actually it contains 2 zeros. And in the right hand side, the number of digits should be equal to the number of digits in the number of zeros in the actual base. I repeat my statement. What I am saying, that the right hand side here should actually have 2 digits. Why? Because the number of digits in the right hand side should always be equal to the number of zeros in the actual base. That I discussed in the last example or the last video as well, right? So this is how you get your answer. To understand it, let us take some more problem. So suppose I want to multiply 68 into 67. So here I take the actual base is equal to 10 and the working base is equal to 70, right? So if I look at 68 and 67, the difference or the deficit here from 70 is like -2 and -3. If the working base is 70 and actual base is 10, then what is the proportion? The proportion is equal to 70 by 10, that is equal to 7, right? So the left hand side that I will calculate will be calculated by multiplying 7 and then taking this like 68 minus 3, right? I could also take 7 times 67 minus 2. You don't have to do both. In both the cases you will get the same answer. So what will be the answer here? The answer will be 7 into 65. That will be basically 455, right? 65 into 7. If I have to multiply, I can multiply 60 into 7. So 60 into 7 will be how much? 60 into 7 will be 420, and then 5 into 7 is 35. So that is 455. That is a quick way of doing the computation. So the left hand side is 455. How much is the right hand side? Right hand side will be -2 into -3, that is equal to 6. So the answer will be 4556. Here we also note this point that the right hand side should have one digit because in the actual base we have just 1 0. So that is why this answer is 4556. Let us take some more. So the next example that I want to take is, suppose I take 497 into 493, a slightly bigger example. And to solve this, now I'm not going to write the detail because by now I hope you are already clear about this. So here the first thing that we need to identify that the working base should be 500 because both these numbers are closer to 500, and I can take two actual bases. Either I can take 100 as the actual base or 1000 as the actual base. But I would suggest you one thing here, that it is preferable to take actual base in such a way that proportion actually is an integer or a complete number. Like if I take 1000 as the actual base, the proportion will be 500 by 1000 is equal to 1 by 2. But if I take actual base as 100, the proportion will be what? Proportion will be 500 by 100, which is basically equal to 5. Why? Because in the product, if I get a complete number, it is easier. In case of fraction, it becomes slightly more complicated, but the choice is totally yours. It is something that you can decide. Now 497, so if I take 497, it is minus 3 less than 500. If I take 493, it is minus 7 less than 500. So the left hand side in this case will be what? It is 5 times 497 minus 7. I am taking this part. I can take this part also, but that I hope you understand. So 490 into 5, if I do that, it will be like 2450, right? And what will be the right hand side? Right hand side will be like minus 3 into minus 7, that is equal to 21. The actual base has 2 zeros, so the right hand side should have 2 digits. So 21 is already having 2 digits, so the correct answer is 245021, and that is your answer. Let us take one more example of working base multiplication. Suppose I take the product of 253 and I want to multiply it by 246. Now one thing is very much clear here, that if you take these two numbers, you have to take the working base as 250, right? So it is very clear that the working base should be taken as 250, and actual base, it is better to take actual base is equal to 1000, right? I can take actual base 100 also, but let us first take the actual base as 1000 and then do this problem. So this is basically plus 3 less than 250. I repeat it, I am taking the working base as 250, and what will be the proportion here? The proportion here will be 250 divided by like 1000, so that will be equal to 1 by 4. So this is plus 3 more than 250, this is minus 4 less than 250. So the left hand side will be given by 1 by 4 into 253 minus 4, right? So this is equal to 1 by 4 into 249, right? So if I divide 249 by 1 by 4, it will be 62 and 1 by 4, right? What will be the right hand side? In this case, the right hand side will be 3 into minus 4, that is equal to minus 12. And I hope by now you are clear that we follow a convention of writing the negative number by putting a bar over there. So the answer is 62 1 by 4, that is my left hand side, and the 12 bar in the right hand side. But that can't be the answer, right? Because this is not making any sense to the general audience. So one thing I have to do, I have to make this thing as a positive thing, right? But here the working base is 250. So basically what I have to do, I have to take this 1 by 4 in this side. And if I am taking this 1 by 4 in this side, it is not just what it will be. That is what I am trying to explain. That if I take 1 by 4 to this side and the actual base is 1000. So basically I'll be taking how much, 1000 divided by 4 to the right hand side. So I'll be getting 62 here, and in the right hand side I'll be getting 250 minus 12, right? One thing we wanted to do here also, that since the actual base is 1000, I should place a 0 here, because the number of digits in the right hand side should be 3, because that is equal to the 3 zeros that is occurring here. So I can subtract 0, 12. So what is the answer here? 62, and if I subtract 0, 12 from 250, I will be basically getting 238. So that is the product. I hope it is making sense. Let us try solving the same example with the help of taking 100 as the actual base, and see what is the challenge we are, or what are the benefits of doing that. So I'm taking 253 into 246, right? And the working base certainly should be equal to 250, and suppose I take the actual base is equal to 100. So what will be the proportion here? The proportion here will be equal to 250 by 100, right? So 250 by 100 is basically equal to 5 by 2, or 2.5. So this is plus 3 more than 250. This is minus 4, means 4 less than 250. So in this case, if I have to calculate the left hand side, I'll be taking the proportion, that is 5 by 2 into 243 minus 4, right? So basically we are getting the same thing. It is 5 by 2 into 249. Yes. So how much is that? If I multiply it by 5 and then divide it by 2, so the product will be like it will be like 250 into 5. So 250 into 5 will be 1250, and minus 5. So this will be like equal to 1245 divided by 2, right? So this will be 622, right? 622, and then half, right? So this is your left hand side in this case. And what will be the right hand side? The right hand side will be plus 3 into minus 4, that is equal to minus 12, which I will write as 12 bar. Okay, so the answer in this case will look like 662 and half, and in the right hand side we have 12 bar. Again I have to take this 1 by 2 in the right hand side to make this positive. So this will be 622, right? And since I'm taking 1 by 2 in the right hand side and my actual base is 100, I am basically taking 50 in the right hand side. This is something that I wanted you to be clear about, that when you are taking 1 by 4 here in the right hand side and your actual base was 1000, so basically you were taking 1 by 4 into 1000, that is 250 in the right hand side. Here you are taking 100 into the right hand side, so 100 minus 12 will be equal to 38. So the correct answer is 622 and 38. Okay, so 622 and 38, that is your correct answer. So this is all about working base multiplication. Certainly you should practice more and be confident about the process. In case if you have any doubt, put a comment so that I can explain you your doubts. And practice is very important, because you are learning a new thing. So what happens, initially you feel like that it is complicated, but as you practice you become very familiar with the process, and then your computation becomes really fast, right? So in the next video I will be talking about how to multiply numbers having different bases. Like suppose I can take a number which is closer to one base, another number which is closer to a different base, then how to multiply that number, right? So watch the videos in the very sequential order. starting from the beginning, and put your doubts in the comments so that I can understand that these are the challenges you are facing, and accordingly I make changes, right? So that is all for this video. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe it and share the video with all your friends so that they also become very fast in the computation. Thank you.